Okay, so we recite Namo Tassa together. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Okay, then we do the Itipiso. Itipiso Bhagava Arahan Samma Sambuddho Vijacharana Sampano Sugato Lokavidu Anutaro Purisa Dhamma Sarati Satta Deva Manusanam Buddho Bhagavati Swakato Bhagavata Dhammo Sanditiko Akaliko, Ehipasiko, Opanaiko, Pachatan Veditabo Vinyohiti, Supatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sango, Ujupatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sango, Nyayapatipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sango, Samichi Patipanno Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Yadidam Chatali Purisa Yugani Atta Purisa Pugala Esa Bhagavato Sawaka Sangho Ahuneyo Pahuneyo Dakineyo Anjali Karaneyo Anutaram Punya Keta Lokasati. All right. So when we doing the Buddhanussati, Dhammanussati, Sanghanussati, so I explained in the Friday class, which I think some of you not able to attend because you have other commitment to other class. So anyway, normally when we are doing the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, we are actually reciting the Buddha's qualities. So the best way to remember the Buddha's quality is through the chanting of Itipiso, and then the Swakato, and then the Supatipanno. All right. So now the problem is if we are going to follow Visuddhimagga, it will take lots of time because we have to read all the texts. And I think you all have the book and you all can read by yourself, right? So today I like to try different approach, not just follow the Visuddhimagga. Okay. Because previously on the Tuesday class, on the Chinese meditation class, they asked me one good question. They said when they're doing the Buddhanussati, they don't feel that they'll be able to do it. They don't seem to have the effect of, they don't seem to practice it. All right. So I was thinking about this question. Why is it people are not able to practice the Buddhanussati? Because there are one thing is, have we seen the Buddha before? No. Have you seen a living Buddha before? No, right? Okay. So how do you get to know the Buddha? So can I hear you? Sister Kaya Hong. So today we make it as a discussion, all right? So we also asked Thomas since he's from representative of the Western side. Okay. All right, Kaya Hong, yes. How do you know the Buddha?
I don't know the Buddha personally, but it's from reading about the Buddha's life story, understand how he become enlightened and how he gone through the Bodhisattva path, his life experiences and his knowledge, his jnana, the knowledge and his conduct. So from there, I actually some sort of admire his qualities and sort of since he's a human as well, and for us also we can emulate, not to his level, but at least a little bit from him so that we can also get the benefits from that.
So you read his story and then read the suttas and then that's how you get to know him, right? Okay, right. Okay, how about Thomas? Do you know the Buddha? If people ask you this question, do you know the Buddha?
I'm sorry, I have not met him. He's also not in Europe.
Yeah. Not in Europe. Okay, there's a good summary. Yes.
I actually find it difficult to get some feeling for the person of the Buddha, because there are some other people in the Pali Canon, like Sariputta or Mahamoggallana, where you have you have an idea about their personality, but you don't get it about the Buddha, because he's just perfect and it's teachings. So when I tried to practice Buddha Nusati, I looked at the Buddha statue, and then it was just a visualization. When I closed the eyes, I saw the picture of the Buddha. But I'm not, it's not feeling like I'm knowing the Buddha.
As a person, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's I think, so-called problem or challenge. Yeah, because the Buddha is so holy. We can use the word holy. Like, of course, like Christian side, we talk about like Jesus Christ. People also can know Jesus Christ because of his story, right? But to know like the God, the Almighty God is very far. Like, so also the Buddha is very far. It's not that
Mm.
something or somebody we can imagine, right? So when people say doing the Buddha Nusati, of course we chant ETB, so Bhagawa, Arahant, Samma, so we know the quality like Samma Sambuddha, Arahant, all this. We know the Buddha's quality as his qualities, but it's difficult to come to know him as a person. Yeah, it's actually quite true. Because we are, for us in Malaysian Chinese or Singaporean Chinese, we get to know Guan Yin. You heard about the Guan Yin, right? The female version, yeah. So we are more familiar with Guan Yin because from very young we saw her statue in like my house. My mother got Guan Yin. So Guan Yin is actually, we feel like a person to us because Guan Yin is very compassionate, very humble, save the world. Yeah. So the Buddha only came later. Okay. Yeah, it's true. Guan Yin came first, then the Buddha came later. So we only get to know the Buddha through his teaching, like Sister Ka Hong said. Yeah. So maybe the best way to know the Buddha is through his teaching. That's the only way we can do it, because we are not, of course, we have reborn many, many lifetime. Of course, in the Buddha time, we might around somewhere in the Bodhgaya or whatever, right? Yeah. We might heard his teaching, but we are not enlightened. So the best way to know the Buddha, I think I put somewhere in the notes today because I was thinking about this question also. All right. So this is one famous story about Wakali. He was ordained as a monk. Then the thing is, when he ordained as a monk, the reason why he ordained, because he loved to see the Buddha, because the Buddha uh has a very beautiful body and very good sweet sound, right? So the Wakali, he just want to he want to look at the Buddha all the time. That's his purpose of becoming a monk. So he retired from the world and became a monk. So he always stood there. So he just spent his time looking at the Buddha only. All right. So, but because of his parami not mature, so Buddha didn't stop him from looking at the Buddha. But one day when his paramis were matured, then the Buddha told him, "What shall it profit you to look upon this mass of corruption?" Means that this body for defilements. Then the Buddha says this one: "Whoever Wakali beholds the Dharma, he beholds me." Okay. Then Wakali, he after that, the Buddha forced him to go, turn the Wakali away. So for 3 months, the Wakali, he tried to practice, but he didn't get any result. Okay, then he was a few cases of thinking about going to kill himself. Yeah. But at that time, the Buddha perceived that his mind already matured. So the Buddha sent a radiant image of himself and displays before this monk. Then at that time, his sorrow disappeared. Right? Then he got joy, right? Then after that, he practiced and then he didn't mention here, but I think he become Arahant. Okay. So from this story, we know that Wakali, he loved to see the Buddha. Yeah. And then the Buddha said something. Yo ko wakali dhammam pasati so mam pasati. Yo mam pasati so dhammam pasati. Yo wakali, whoever. So direct translation will be whoever wakali sees the Dhamma. He sees me. Me refer to the Buddha, right? So in another way, whoever sees me sees the Dhamma, right? So this the Buddha say, and this is actually very famous sentence mentioned in many sutta. So how do we see the Buddha? Like the Buddha told the Wakali, who sees the Dhamma? If you sees the Dhamma, I mean, if you understand the Dhamma, you understand who is the Buddha. And if you understand or if you see the Buddha, then you see the Dhamma. All right? Okay. And also in some of the sutta, the Buddha say, whoever sees the Dhamma or dependent origination, then one sees the Buddha. Right? So beside the Dhamma or here dependent origination, then you see the Buddha. So is Buddha a concept? Yes, if you say Buddha is also Namarupa, right? Buddha is also Namarupa. But Buddha, it was recognized as a historical Buddha. When we say use the word historical Buddha, means that he did really exist in the ancient India, right? In a where he born. Because when you go for pilgrimage, you go to place where he was when he was born, where he attained enlightenment, where he preached the Dhamma, Sana, where he passed away, and where he turned the Dhamma. So we call it historical Buddha because it really exists. He really exists in the history as a living Buddha at that time, as a Prince Siddhartha. Okay, so if we look at this statement, so that means that if you want to do Buddhanussati, you need to do Dhammanussati also. All right? Okay. So if you cannot do Buddhanussati, then you try to do Dhammanussati. And when you do Dhammanussati, you have to do Sanghanussati. Right? Because on the listening on the Tuesday class, I was talking to the Chinese group about how do we do the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Right? Now, this Buddhanussati, okay, basically, since we cannot see the Buddha, what we do is either you choose a Buddha statue or Buddha painting. The keyword is which you like, you know. Now, when we are doing Buddhanussati, there are two ways. One way we call it either visual or audio, right? Visual means because some people like to see something. Some people love to hear something. Or some people like to see and hear. So it depends on how you learn. To me, I think I prefer to see. I prefer to read the text. But sometimes for Burmese Dhamma talk, I prefer to hear the Burmese Dhamma talk because Burmese Dhamma talk is more powerful because they have their own way of chanting or own delivery of Dhamma, right? But for me, reading the Dhamma in English will be easier for me, right? So also like here, so you should have a Buddha image that the one you really like because it will help you as to take it as an object. Then for open eye, you can recite ETB, so and so on. After that, you can close your eyes. What's the purpose of closing eyes? Because we are trying to make it more, reduce the senses, means that close the senses so we get more samadhi, right? So we can visualize the image and recite the ETB, so or whatever. And finally, if you want to be more one-pointedness, so choose only one quality. Because normally I think last time also one of the brother he asked some people do breathing meditation they recite with the bu do. I think Thai tradition, right? Bu do, right? So but if you are doing with the breathing, you don't get so much concentration because your mind is half on the breathing, half on the Buddha. So it's better you just recall the quality Buddha, Arahan, because this will give you more concentration, more focus, and reduce your thoughts. Okay, now what's the purpose of this? Because we want to get joy, calmness. We want to reduce the hindrances. Now, this is the purpose, all right? We want to get joy, calmness. We want to reduce hindrances like sensual thought, ill will, soft torpor, restlessness, and worry and doubt. So after that, we can change to vipassana, right? Or we want to develop the jhana factors, vitaka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagrata to some extent. Or if you want to change vipassana, so you can contemplate whatever mental state you have at the time, right? Like joy, calmness, or happiness at chittanupassana. But Buddhanussati cannot let you gain jhana, means that absorption, only access concentration. All right? So Buddhanussati, Dhammanussati, Sanghanussati. So after you practice so hard, you only can get access concentration, not jhana. But if you practice kasina, you can get first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, fourth jhana, fifth jhana. But the problem is people thought practicing kasina is also very boring, right? Because you see the yellow image or blue image or what water or earth, just a simple image only. The mind also feel very boring. But actually, sometimes the image is as simple as it is actually better for the mind to go down, right? Okay, now what's the advantage here? So sometimes we need to learn the advantage. All right, Thomas, can you read the advantage?
The advantages are when a bhikkhu is devoted to this recollection of the Buddha, he is respectful and deferential towards the master. He attains fullness of faith, mindfulness, understanding, and merit. He has much happiness and gladness. He conquers fear and dread. He is able to endure pain. He comes to feel as if he were living in the master's presence, and his body, when the recollection of the Buddha's special quality dwells in it, becomes as worthy of veneration as a shrine room. His mind tends toward the plane of the Buddhas. When he encounters an opportunity for transgression, he has awareness of conscience and shame as vivid as though he were face to face with the master. And if he penetrates no higher, he is at least headed for a happy destiny.
Okay. So do you see the advantage? So is it incentive for you to practice, Thomas?
There's, of course, many advantages listed here.
Mm-hmm.
And
So
also,
which one do you prefer? I mean, with so many advantages, which one do you think is will be the plus point for you? Incentive point for you. Yeah.
um, it's two things. To endure the pain is sure a good thing for meditation and for
Mm-hmm.
life itself, and also the safety to be bound for a happy destiny is a worthy thing.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the person be able to endure pain because they have joy and happiness. That's the thing, right? Because if your mental power, we call it joy and happiness or calmness, is mental power. So if the mental power is strong, then the person be able to endure the physical pain. All right. So that's the thing. And of course, when the mind is calm and happy, so when we learn Abhidhamma, we learn about the last thought moment. So if the last thought moment, the mind grabs very wholesome object, like the Buddhanussati thinking about the Buddha's qualities, due to the wholesome object, they take this one and they'll appear in a good place. All right. So there's a happy destiny. Okay, now, so I think I answered your question already. So if you cannot see the Buddha, what you do? You see the Dhamma. Okay? Right. Now, what is Dhamma? Dhamma means the teaching of the Buddha. Right. Okay. Now, before I continue, I like to go through this point first. This point. Right. Since we are talking about 40 samatha practices, all right. Now, when we practice 40 samatha practice, so we need to know which one will lead to highest jhana, which one will not lead to highest jhana, and what's the reason of such and such. Now, 40 samatha kamatana. Now, this word kamatana, so in Visuddhimagga, they translate as meditation subject, but we can take it as meditation object, right? Like kasina, we call it whole. Sometimes they use the word device. So there are 10 of them. So we already finished kasina. So kasina is good because the object is so simple and it can lead to fourth or fifth. Fifth according to Abhidhamma level or fourth according to Sutanta. That's the highest material jhana. Because the object is very simple. Like earth, you just look at the earth. Water, you look at the water. Fire, look at the fire. And blue, yellow, red, okay, and white. That's all. And then the space, and then the light. So if you want to go for highest rupa jhana, so material means rupa jhana, then you should practice the kasina. And asubha, which I kind of like, I just go through in brief, you only go for first rupa jhana. Because you need to have vitaka, all right? You need to have vitaka all the time. You cannot go for second jhana because second jhana, there's no vitaka. And also because the object is loathsome, the mind will not be able to go very high jhana because the mind will not grasp it all the way to be able to enjoy it. As you are looking at the 10 stages of Asubha corpse, it's very gruesome, very smelly. I mean, if we have really a physical corpse with us, first thing you get is the smell. Have you ever come across the smell of dead animals, right? Either rat or sometimes lizard or sometimes here during last year, we had 7 puppies. I think 6 of them, or more than 6 of them passed away. So the children do not have much energy. So I also personally had go and dig a hole and bury all the puppies. And then the puppies from outside, they come to our place. So being bitten by the dog. So I have to bury the puppy here. So last year I buried 10 puppies. So it's really very good practice for Asubha. And then the cat also passed away. Then the cat from outside also passed away. So last year I buried 2 cats and 10 puppies. Yeah. So one of the puppies buried outside the garden, outside the place. So after 2 weeks, our dogs dig up the puppies, and then they bring the leg of the dead puppies here 2 weeks later. So very gruesome also. So for me, I no need to think so much. I can imagine all the corpse of the animals, dogs and cats, and rats also, yeah. Okay, now, so it only give you the first material jhana. So this means that if you practice very, very hard, you look at the very gruesome, loathsome images of the Asubha, you only get to first jhana. So you can think about that. So this why, but why do people want to practice this? It's good for people who have lust, suitable for lustful nature. Okay, it's somebody who has strong lust, they have strong desire to their own body and the body of other people, so they should practice. Because no matter how good is the body of others, they are full of dirty things. Now, Anussati, all right. So we talk about Buddha Anussati, Dhamma. So you just remember Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Sila, Chaga, Devata, Marana, Upasama. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right. So now these 8, and there are 2 here. Kaya Gata Sati, mindfulness of the body, 32 body parts. And Anapana, you all know breathing. So this one all together, sorry. So this one group, Kasina is one group, right? 10. Asubha is second group, 10. So you got 20. So Anussati up to here, 8 plus Kaya and then the Anapana. So this another third group, so 10, right? So Anussati here is 8. Then you plus the Kaya, Gata, Sati, and Anapana, so 10, right? So Kasina, 10. Asubha, 10. Anussati with the Kaya, Gata, Sati, and this one, 10. And the last one, Brahma Vihara, so you can put as a fourth group. Brahma Vihara, 4. Alupa, 4. Yeah. Okay, then on the nutriment, 1, and then the 4 great elements. So if you combine onwards, downwards, you got 10. All right. So all together will be 40. Okay, can follow? You all can follow? Can now? So for Brahma Vihara, 4 Alupa, then the nutriment Ahari Patikura Sanya, and then Chatu Dhatu Vavadana, 4 great elements, 10. So plus together will be, here is 10. So number 3 is also 10. Number 2 is 10. Number 1 is 10. So totally how much do we get? 40. All right. So 40 means the 10 kasina. Okay, so we call it another one, you call it Anussati together with the breathing. And then the other will be 4 Brahma, Vihara, and so on. Okay. And last one will be how many we have? Asubha, all right, sorry. 10 Asubha. Okay. So Kasina, 10 Asubha, Anussati, plus with the Anapanasati, and then 4 Brahma Vihara, and so on. So you got 40. Can you follow? All right, okay. All right, now, so if we want to go for highest, you should go for Kasina. If you want to go very deep into jhana, because the highest will be Kasina. So out of 10 Kasina, you choose the one that you like. For example, Thomas, you like fire, you can practice fire. For me, I prefer earth. For me, I prefer maybe water Kasina. All right. Then Asubha, even you practice very hard, you only get to first. Material means I use okay, better use the Pali also, Rupa Jhana, right? So Rupa Jhana means material jhana. Okay. So Asubha, if you practice very hard, you only get to first jhana. Now, Anussati, no matter we are talking about 8, this 8 only, you only can get access concentration. There's no jhana. No matter how hard you practice Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Sila means morality, Chaga means your generosity, Devata means, later I will explain, Maranas Nusati is thinking about the death, Upasama is thinking about peacefulness or Nibbana. So we only can get access concentration. Now the reason is we need to have thoughts, right? All these are, you need to think about the Buddha, think about the Dhamma, think about the Sangha, think about your Sila. So you need to have thoughts. So it makes the mind active or too active. Another reason is some of the things like, even like you think about Buddha, the topics itself is very profound. Who is the Buddha? You know, how much do we understand the Buddha? Right? Like the Thomas say, like Sariputra, yes, we can understand about Sariputra. Ananda, yes, it's easy, right? But to think about the Buddha is not easy. Now, if you practice on the body, 32 parts of the body, head, hair, nail, teeth, and so on, you only get to Rupa Jhana. So material, I just change it all to the body, so Rupa Jhana. Right? Because also same. Now, the difference between Asubha is you looking outside at other body, the other person's body. But Kaya Gata Sati is you looking inside your own body. So you also need to have a Vitaka, initial application. And the object is also lawsome, right? So you have to think about your body parts, head hair, body hair, nail, teeth, skin, and so on, right? So imagine you can take out your, of course, we can see our nail, we can see our head hair, we can take out our skin, all right? But when you examine under microscope, you can see the hair is not beautiful, right? Even though nowadays people go and dye the color or whatever. Okay. So under this group number 3, Anussati, we have the Kayagata Sati, and Anapanasati means breathing. So you can see Anapanasati in the four foundation mindfulness is actually one of the Vipassana practice. But in the Samatha, it is also another practice. So Anapanasati can go two way, either as Vipassana or as Samatha. So as a Samatha, it can give the highest. Same also with the Kasina. So Anapanasati and Kasina, they can give the highest. Now, why I put 4 and 5? Because 4 is according to Sutanta method, 5th is according to Abhidhamma method. So the different calculation there. Now, Anapanasati, people like it because object is simple, calming. All right? It's very calming. Because like when you are very stressful, naturally you can breathe in, breathe out slowly. So your mind calm down. So it's very calming by itself. Right? Okay. All right. Okay. So far you all can follow? Can, not so difficult yet. All right. Now, Brahma Vihara. I think, have I talk about Brahma Vihara in the meditation group? I can't remember. Okay, anyway, Metta, Karuna, Mudita. I hope you all know the Pali. Metta is loving kindness. Karuna is compassion. Mudita is rejoice. Can let one go for first to third material jhana. But Upeka is the highest one because it can give to the highest jhana 4 or 5th. 4 or 5th, right? Because Metta, Karuna, Mudita, you still need to have the piti, right? Joy. But only the Upeka can give you the neutral feeling, right? So that's why the jhana factors is different and then the level of attainment is different. Okay, so this one you need to think about all the Vitakka, Vichara, Piti, Sukha, Ekagata. I will not go through that. Anyway, Arupa will go for immaterial jhana. So Arupa means Arupa jhana, right? So of course, in terms of jhana, this is the highest one can have. But there also no much purpose of why you want to go there. Like you have to practice like infinite space, infinite consciousness, nothingness, neither perception, non-perception, which we know that the Bodhisattva, ascetic Gautama, he did practice all the way to nothingness and neither perception nor no perception. But after that, he also gave up the practice. Then he practiced Vipassana, all right? So there are no reason why we should practice unless you really want to try it. If your concentration is good, of course you can go. And then the food, it only give you excess concentration because also Sam, you need to have lots of thoughts about it. Needs, okay. So thoughts, yeah. And then the last one is the 4 great elements. Yeah, right. You only can give excess concentration, right? Okay, so this is just a kind of like summary for you to know. Let's say if you practice Buddha Anussati, now we are talking about 6 Anussati. Normally we refer to this Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, Sila, Chaga, Devata. Normally we are talking about 6 Anussati because these 6 are quite common to practice. Maranusati people don't practice all the time because nobody like to think about that. They're scared of that. All right, so we are talking about 6. You are talking about these 6. I think I just put like this. When we are talking about 6 Anussati, so it's like this one. Okay, Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha. So we call it, we call it 6 Recollection. So if you all print out, it will be easier for you. But if you don't print out, it's okay. It doesn't matter. So yeah, okay. All right. So now we have talked about Buddha. So to understand Buddha, you need to practice Dhammanussati. So to understand the Dhamma, we need to think about the Sangha who carry on the teaching of the Buddha, right? So actually, that's why Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, we can practice together. That's by chanting the ETP so. So now, let's say just now, we're talking about ETP so. How should we chant? All right? Right. Right. So of course you can chant, look at the Buddha or look at the any of the painting or statue that is make your mind calm down, right? And when we chant, how should we chant? We should chant with the attitude of happiness, right? Because it is our good karma to meet the Buddha. Why? Because the Buddha say, now we are in the Buddha Sasana. Buddha Sasana means the Buddha still, even though the Buddha not around, the Dhamma still exists. So if we can meet the Dhamma, we can understand the Dhamma, means that we are be able to understand who's the Buddha. Okay. And out of the qualities, you can choose the Buddho, Arahant, or Samma Sambuddho. Because some people, they also say, shall we recite like Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Samma Sambuddhassa? Also can. So when we chant, you should have some joy, Even though at first maybe you cannot have the joy, but we can pretend to have the joy. Thomas, do you understand the meaning of pretend to have joy? I mean, it's like, you see, for example, people say, you're not happy. So people say, oh, you should smile. At first your smile is a fake smile. But after you smile for some time, it might be a real smile, right? So it's like this. Because when we smile, it gives the signal to the brain that we are in a happy mode, right? So then the brain will fine tune. So if you are not happy when doing the Buddhanussati, so you can try to be happy. So when you try to be happy, then the brain will receive the signal, okay, I should be happy. Then the mind will go for the happy mode. It's actually good to cycle ourselves, teach ourselves, train our mind. Okay, so now clear Buddhanussati? Can I? Any question on this before I go for Dhammanussati? Any question? Other student, any question?
Raji,
Yes.
may I say something?
Okay.
Yeah, initially I just chant, beginning when I got to know Dhamma, so I just chant Itipiso without understanding.
Yes.
So when I do that, right, I just chant without any understanding. But later on, I try to understand the verses, the meaning, and what are the actual qualities in it. After that, after this, I feel more faith, more increase, more faith. And with the understanding, right, when I chant, right, I can really feel it. When I chant with closed eyes, I can really feel the, the joy in it. Yeah.
Yeah, because you are Sada type.
Yeah, that's how I feel. Yeah.
Remember, we are talking about, we have few types, Sada, Vitaka, Buddhi. So if you are Sada type, it's very easy for you to feel joy. And when you read the words, understand the Pali, you feel more joy because you are Sada type, right? So for you, it's easy, no problem. Okay. Okay, anyway, thanks for your sharing. Now, let's say if Buddhanussati, very difficult for you. All right, now try to Dhammanussati.
Teacher,
Yes, Brother Lim.
can I ask a few questions?
Okay.
No,
Can you open your video? Yeah. Open your video.
video.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay.
Mm.
So when we chant, because usually I like to chant this Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. But as I like it, then at one time it can stuck into your mind that you automatically just chant by itself in the mind. Is it good for you or is it bad for you?
I mean, if you are practicing samatha, it's good for you because your mind is actually still on the Itipiso or Namo Tassa. But if you are doing vipassana, it's not good because that means that even though it's the thoughts about the Buddha, it still exists as a kind of like wandering mind. Because the mind wanders from now, at this present time, it wanders to the Itipiso or whatever. It's actually in the past mode, not the present mode. Present mode means you are here, you are seeing something, you are hearing something, but not, if you are not chanting Itipiso or not chanting the Namo Tassa, then there should not be Namo Tassa in your mind. Okay? It's kind of like wandering thoughts. And like, for example, when people are practice meditation, they seems to hear the music or some people are practicing meditation there because of metta chanting at night time is very powerful, right? So when people are practicing, so they hear the like aham, awiro, homi is like repeating in their mind. But actually this is kind of like restless mind. All right. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yes. Next question.
That means you would not want the phrase to stuck with you
No,
lah.
it depends on what are you practicing. If you are practicing samatha, is not a problem because your mind is supposed to be focused on the Buddha's quality. But if you want to do vipassana, you have to stop the restless mind. It's actually restless mind, you know. The mind is restless with the it wants some Buddhist chanting or Buddhist song. Okay, all right, all right.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Now, if you find Buddhanussati difficult, then go for Dhammanussati. Now, of course, when we say chanting is good because first, it keeps your mind on the Buddha's, and here is Dhamma's quality. You can chant, or beside chant the Dhammas, okay, one thing you should chant is any text you like, because some people like to chant like Avijja Pacha Sankhara, dependent origination. Some people prefer to chant the Hetu Pachayo, Aramana Pachayo, you know, the Patana, right? Yeah, because every time they chant Hetu Pachayo or the cause, Aramana Pachayo, the object, then Adipati Pachayo, the predominance. To them, it's very profound Dhamma, especially the 24 not 24 Pacha, it should be 24, all right? 24 Patana. So this is called Patana. So 24 Patana is actually very powerful because it explains whatever happened in the whole universe. Yeah, especially Upanisaya, like how the tree grows. The tree grows because of the sun, because of water, right? Like today, it rains. Your mind is happy even though it look like not really linked with each other, but because when it rains, the weather become cool. Because of cool, then your mind also calm down, right? So beside the Dhamma's quality, you can chant any of the texts you like, but you need to chant slowly because you need to think about the meaning. Because if you chant fast, you will not have time to appreciate the meaning. Okay, right. So then, if you want to understand the this Bible area, okay? Each quality, yeah, of Dhamma. So you can read the Visuddhimagga. Because I think if I going through the text, it will take some time. And also, I think most of you, I think all of you are very good in English, so you all can read by yourself. So I just want to talk about how should we really practice it. So actually on Friday class, we did go through some of the important points. Okay, now you can chant quietly if you don't want to disturb people. The main thing is you need to contemplate the Dhamma until you can get some joy. Or even your mind is not so, for me, my mind is not so excited nature, but at least your mind dwell in Dhamma. When your mind dwell in Dhamma, it has some kind of peacefulness by itself. So at that time, you'll be able to subdue some hindrances. So that's the purpose of samatha. We want to subdue the hindrances. After that, we change to vipassana, all right? Or what we do is, I mentioned on the meditation class, so you can put a Dhamma book in front of you. So every day look at the book, even though you don't have time to read all the Dhamma book, but at least you look at the book or it represents the Dhamma. Or if you can go for internet or go for nowadays a lot of social media where vulnerables are sharing the Dhamma like me also. So you can read one day one sutta and contemplate it, right? Or listen to Dhamma talks because nowadays I prefer to listen to Burmese Dhamma talk to improve my Burmese. That's the reason. And also read out the Dhamma books. And also not just read, you need to write down the important points because it helps us to process the information. Okay. So when in the yesterday the Pali class, so we talking about Bande Karata, one of the important sutta. So after you read the sutta, understand the main point and then write down. Okay. Now there's an advantage here. So Sister Kahon, you can read this one. Advantage of Dhammanussati.
Yeah, thank you, Saji. When a bhikkhu is devoted to this recollection of the Dhamma, he thinks, I never in the past met a master who taught a law that led onward thus. Who possessed this talent? Nor do I now see any such a master other than the Blessed One. Seeing the Dhamma's special qualities in this way, he is respectful and deferential towards the master. He entertains great reverence for the Dhamma and attains fullness of faith and so on. He has much happiness and gladness. He conquers fear and dread. He is able to endure pain. He comes to feel as if he were living in the Dhamma's presence, and his body, when the recollection of the Dhamma's special qualities dwell in it, becomes as worthy of veneration as a shrine room. His mind tends towards the realization of the peerless Dhamma. When he encounters an opportunity for transgression, he has vivid awareness of conscience and shame on recollecting the well-regulatedness of the Dhamma. And if he penetrates no higher, he is at least headed for a happy destiny. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so Sister Kaho. So out of this one, which one do you like? Which the advantages do you like the best? Okay. Sister Kaho?
Yeah, it's the reverence for the Dhamma, reverence
Oh, okay.
the
Okay,
that-
so you like this one, all right?
yes,
Okay, good. All right. Now you can see when you practice the Dhammanussati, you start to see you can see there are no other teacher who as great as the Buddha, right? Yeah, because when you look at the Dhamma, you understand that, okay, now let's compare with other religion, okay? Compare to other religion and compare to Dhamma. Then you can see which Dhamma or which teaching is the best and who can teach such teaching. So through the Dhamma, you start to respect the Buddha, okay? So that's how we should see. Like just now you say, once who see the Dhamma, if somebody see the Dhamma, they see the Buddha. When they see the Buddha, they see the Dhamma, according to teaching to the Bhikkhu Wakali, who like to see the Buddha's body. But when he see the Buddha's body, he didn't really see the Dhamma. But when he really practice later, then he really understand who's the Buddha. Okay? So when he see the Dhamma special way, he respectful. So he has respect. Yeah. So how to have Buddhanussati, Dhammanussati is we need to also generate respect. The moment you start to respect the Dhamma, you also more respect the Buddha, then also you also start to have all these advantages. And when we learn the Dhamma, it's also very good because it keeps our mind humble, because we understand that there are lots of things in the Dhamma we have not learned yet. That's why like now even though I already finished my study, I start to learn Pali about before I became a Sale or about 5 years. So I learned Pali 20 years already, more than 20 years. But to me, I look at the Pali, there are many Pali I not learned before. So many things to learn, endless thing, all right? So when we learn the Dhamma, you only learn a little bit. There are many, many Dhammas you have not learned, all right? Okay, now, all right? So now we go for Sanghanussati. Now, who is Sangha, right? Now, that's the question, who is Sangha? Sangha means, now we normally translate as community of monks and nuns. More correctly would be bhikkhu and bhikkhuni, right? Like for us, Sale, even though we are not considered as bhikkhuni, but it's actually in Myanmar, the Sale have better treatment because recognized as part of the community of monastic, right? So better treatment compared to other precept holder. So Sale here can have their own place. Sale here also can learn the Dhamma. Also here we also got the exam for just like the monks. They also sit for exam, right? That's why some of the Sale also have very good karma. They have big nunnery, same as a big monastery. Okay. Now, so the best way is you can chant the Kwardia Supatipanno or something. or choose the photo or recall, right? You can choose the person, monk or nun or whoever, still living or passed away. Now, is there difference between choosing somebody who passed away or still living? Anybody? You want to contribute your idea? Still living or passed away? Is there any difference? Okay, what's the difference between these?
Hello, good evening, Sarji.
Yes, Xiu Hong.
Yeah,
Xiu Hong, yes.
to me, I don't think there's any difference. I think it's more being living or pass on. I think it's more of the quality of that you sort of
Okay.
respect.
Right, okay.
But I'm thinking of more of like male or female. Does it make a difference?
Male and female.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
Because
one maybe
yeah,
I'm not too sure. Yeah.
because nowadays, I think even now, right, most of the teacher you get to know is a male, right? Male.
Mm,
Even my teacher is a male, right? A
mm.
monk. So to have female teacher is actually, yeah, because also due to the, we can use the word discrimination in the Theravada.
Oh.
There are more more respected monks, and then compared to nuns, nuns having, will say, the opportunity to learn Dhamma might not be so much in some of the Theravada country. Yeah. But in Malaysia should be okay lah. Malaysia monks and nuns not much different, right? Even I go and teach in Malaysia, the respect they give to me is like vulnerable, because they treat us like vulnerable. Or they don't differentiate you are bhikkhu or bhikkhuni or sale or whatever. Okay, so the question is, anybody thinks, is there any difference between a vulnerable still living or still passed away when we choose it as our Sangha-Anussati? So I just want to try, test you all. So anybody say different or? Any answer? Who support me when I say there's a difference?
I think yes, there is a difference. I agree.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I also say there is a difference.
Okay. Yes. What kind of difference between still living and pass away? So anybody? Wendy,
The-
you want to say?
So I guess for me, I think still
You
living one
don't know.
more close to.
Okay, still living more close.
Yeah.
So the pass away not close.
Okay.
Okay.
Not close lah. Means like we are not able to see them physically at the same
Okay.
times that I'm
Okay.
living with. Like I can see you, I can talk to you,
Okay, so more close. Okay,
more
you have to get
close.
more close.
Can
So
feel
this is
it.
so more far away.
Yeah,
Okay.
this one just like a Buddha lah, because
Okay. All right. Okay. Okay.
Okay,
So
thank
that's
you.
a good answer. Okay. Any more? Sumita, you want to say something?
Yeah, it's the same. And then also, I think the passing away one, we will feel a grief, especially when you have good experiences from their teaching,
Mhm.
this that. So you were some sort like what a great loss, such a good teacher.
Oh, great loss. All right.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Some
The
you say
living, we
it's
can
different.
still, a
Yeah.
living one, we can still offer, like we think they have done so much, then we are willing to contribute to their
Can still
monastery, we can
offer,
still offer all this and that.
Okay.
So we don't feel
Alright.
that something, but the one that we have lost, then we somehow or other, when we reflect or recollect, then we will have that feeling.
Okay. All right. So do you prefer to think about, choose a photo or record the image still living or still have passed away? So which one do you prefer, Sumita?
Living.
You prefer living. All
Yeah.
right. Because you don't want to have grief, right? Wendy also prefer living, right? How about Thomas?
Yes.
What do you think, Thomas?
I cannot think of a significant difference
Okay.
in the reflection if the person is living or dead.
Okay. You think it's same.
I think it's the same, yes.
All right. Okay. Who agree
Can
with
I
Thomas?
join in to give a comment?
Yes. Who is it?
Can I just
Yeah,
give my
Brother Lim.
comment?
Yes. Sure, Brother Lim. Yes.
You see, mainly when I see a monk I respect, sorry,
Yeah, open the video. Yes.
mainly a monk I respect is when I go through their dharmas, you know, they have put up their dharmas for us to understand. So if I find that their dharma is so touching in my heart, then of course, even if he's passed away, I will still renovate it, put a photo there to show that I respect his way of teaching and the way that he show me the way. So it doesn't mean whether he's alive or is a person.
Okay,
But
so
I
you are
think mostly
same
will
in
pass
terms of
away.
Dharma, right? In terms of
Yeah.
Dharma, he shared, all right?
Yeah.
He or she shared, right?
Yeah.
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 That's a good things, yeah. Yeah. Because if we look at the Dhamma, so whether he passed away or still living, it's still same. Yeah. But when we are in terms of your thinking is different because you take that monk as a person, right? As a person, you feel like you want to be close to him, you want to offer to him. So when he passed away, he or she passed away, you have grief, thinking, oh, great loss. So this more than means that your mind hold that monk as a person. But like Brother Lim said, if you just think about the Dhamma he share, so whether he passed away, still living, is same. Okay, you all can follow? Can, right? Okay. Yes, Sister Kahong.
Yes, Saji, I would like to share something.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it depends on who the Sangha member is. Like for my case, right? Because I learned the Dhamma. I started to learn the Dhamma through Venerable Kesri Dhammananda.
Yes.
So he has passed away. But
Mm-hmm.
it was out of gratitude also that because of him I come into Dhamma. So when I see his photo, I can arise a lot of faith in the Dhamma and also gratitude to him. So it makes me also feel very good when I see his photo, even though he has passed away. Yeah, that's
Okay.
how I feel. Yeah.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay, good. All right. So now what's the purpose of choosing the photos or record image? Because we want to think about, like she said, when you see him, you recall his teaching to you all. So you feel gratitude, right? You feel his metta, right? Especially Dr. K. Dhammananda. He's I think quite very beginnings, one of the Sinhalese monk very early on in propagate Dhamma in Malaysia, Singapore, very successfully. So Brixfield is also opened by him. So because I never met him, I think I met him only one time when I was working in Singapore, and then he was invited. By that time he was quite old, at 80 plus. So when we think about the Sangha, so the main thing is we need to recall, beside his Dhamma teaching or how good he's teaching the Dhamma. All right. So we need to recall their what's the word, embodiment of the Dhamma. Right. This means that you can feel the kindness, metta, compassion, or maybe effort, the 10 parami. Okay, you should feel this kind of quality. Because when we approach the Sangha, why we approach Sangha? Because we want to learn from them, Like we are not, maybe we are not perfect yet. We want to learn to be more perfect like him or her. So yeah, so like you say, if you feel that if the vulnerable is still living, you feel more close, you can still offer. Okay. All right. But you also need to dwell more on these good qualities. And also, when you see the Sangha, it's also wish that one day you can have the same qualities. And one day you can walk, you can be able to renounce the world and practice because I see a lot of lay people, they are very reluctant to renounce the world. They will give, okay, they have lots of duty at home. I say, okay, duties, endless duty. Okay, so it's actually when you see the vulnerable baby, one day you okay, aspire, one day I can let go everything and focus fully on the Dhamma. All right. So okay. All right. So we can look at you can one way to go through by chanting Itipiso and then the Swakato, and then you can look at him visualize and then you can chant, right? So when you chant or look at the photo, main thing is try to feel when the person, the vulnerable, share the Dhamma, they should have compassion. Yeah, they should have compassion and metta. That's important. They should have wisdom to explain to you, especially when listening to your stories, life problem. Okay. Sometimes give Dhamma talk is not difficult for me. Sometimes after the Dhamma talk, the devotees come and tell their problem. It's like double job, After give Dhamma talk 1 hour, very tired. Then devotees come and tell you their life story. Actually, it takes more energy because you have to follow their to solve their life problem, you have to listen to their family story, right? Yeah. So that means that they will tell you my uncle, my husband, my child. So in your mind, in my mind, I have to put Sumita has one husband, right? Sumita has one grandson, right? Yeah, and grandson is putting at home, and then the son is going to what? Pata. So I have to remember the Sumita story. Okay. So so after 1 hour Dhamma talk, I have to even you want to solve the problem, we must have wisdom and knowledge, right? Yeah. Okay, so you need to feel the metta and compassion vulnerable. You need to feel their wisdom and knowledge, right? Okay, so what we do beside this, this point I cover later. Okay, I think we 5 minutes break, then we continue. All right.